In a small coastal village, nestled among rolling hills and the blue expanse of the sea, there lived a fisherman named Pedro. Pedro was a simple man with a simple life. Every day, he would rise early and head out to sea to catch fish to feed his family. Pedro was content with his life. He had a loving wife, 2 children, and enough food to put on the table every day. Pedro's family was his world, and he took great joy in watching his children grow and learn. One day, as Pedro was fishing, he noticed a well-dressed man standing on the shore. The man was watching him with interest, and eventually he approached Pedro. "Hello, my name is Richard," the man said, introducing himself. "I couldn't help but notice that you're a fisherman. You must be quite skilled to be out here every day, catching fish to feed your family." Pedro smiled warmly at Richard. "Yes, I suppose I am," he replied. "Fishing is my livelihood, and I take great pride in providing for my family." Richard nodded, studying Pedro thoughtfully. "I can see that you are a contented man," he said. "But have you ever considered what more you could do with your skills? With your talent for catching fish, you could make a fortune." Pedro looked at Richard quizzically. "I don't understand," he said. "I catch enough fish to feed my family and sell a few at the market. That's all I need." Richard shook his head in disbelief. "But think of the possibilities," he said. "You could catch more fish, sell them for more money, and then buy a bigger boat to catch even more fish. Eventually, you could become rich and famous." Pedro listened to Richard's words carefully but shook his head. "I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I don't want to be rich or famous," he said. "I have everything I need right here. I have my family, my friends, and my simple life." Richard looked at Pedro incredulously. "But why settle for so little when you could have so much more?" he asked. Pedro smiled softly. "To me, success is not about how much money you make or how famous you are," he said. "Success is being happy with what you have and appreciating the people and things that matter most." Richard pondered Pedro's words for a moment before nodding slowly. "I see what you mean," he said. "But I still believe that there is more to life than just contentment." Pedro smiled at Richard. "Perhaps," he said, "but sometimes the greatest things in life are the simplest." Over the next few days, Richard spent time in the village, observing Pedro's simple life. He watched as Pedro spent time with his family, went fishing, and helped his neighbors. Richard couldn't help but notice the genuine happiness that Pedro exuded, despite having so little. As Richard prepared to leave the village, he approached Pedro once again. "Thank you for showing me the true meaning of success," he said. "I realize now that there is more to life than just wealth and fame. Your contentment and happiness have taught me a valuable lesson." Pedro smiled at Richard. "I'm glad to have been able to show you the beauty of a simple life," he said. "Sometimes the most important things in life are the ones we already have." As Richard left the village and returned to his busy city life, he couldn't help but think about the lesson he had learned from Pedro. He realized that he had been so focused on success and making more money that he had forgotten what truly mattered in life.